Welcome back. I'm glad you're here today. This is the exciting topic we're talking about today, weight loss and hormones. Now, if you haven't been watching, you're going to want to catch up because we're at the very end. We're months into our weight loss going deeper class. So if you haven't been following along, go on back and get caught up. Take your time, work your way up. But here we are at the end, and now we're talking about hormones. Hormones are tricky things. Let me just start from the very beginning with the understanding of what hormones are. Hormones are chemical messengers in your body. All they do is send messages from one place to another place. Not just talking about estrogen, testosterone, our sex hormones. Those are fine. Those do their own job. But there are hormones from all over your body sending messages, to get the messages to different parts of your body to do their job. Your thyroid makes a ton of hormones. Your brain makes hormones. But this time today, the first hormone that I want to talk about with you is a hormone that comes from your pancreas. And I bet you know what it is. It's insulin. Insulin is a crucial hormone when we talk about keeping the body in balance. Hormones basically send messages to keep things in a certain range of normal. Whatever it is that it's trying to manage, there's too much, you send a message, bring that number down. If it's too little, you send a message, bring that level up. And so hormones are just keeping things in a nice balance, nice little range of normal, okay? Insulin is exactly the same, but insulin's job is to keep your blood sugar within a certain normal range. If it's too low, the brain doesn't get fed, you don't feel good, you pass out, bad things can happen. Okay, but if it's too high, you can think of sugar in your blood like rust on a car. If it's around at high levels on a chronic, ongoing basis, it's causing damage, okay? You don't want a lot of sugar in your blood. That's diabetes, okay? So if you have chronic high levels of blood sugar, that's diabetes, and that causes damage. That's why people end up with toes amputated and such if their diabetes isn't well controlled. That's why kidney failure happens. And so your insulin, the whole job of insulin is to put sugar away, put the glucose away, store it. So whenever you eat anything, insulin goes up and says, put it away. So if you eat a sandwich, your insulin goes up. If you have a handful of nuts, your insulin goes up. If you have something to drink that has any kind of caloric content, so I'm not talking about water, insulin goes up. The job of insulin is to put the fuel in the cells or in storage where it can't cause corrosion and damage in the body. So considering that most of your fuel, if you put it in, even if it wasn't sugar to start with, it can be converted to sugar to feed the cells, glucose, then it has to be put away. It can't sit there in the blood at high levels all the time because it's causing things to get breakdown. So your pancreas recognizes that you ate something, sends the insulin as the messenger to put it away, and all the cells in your body that need to get fed get a little bit of glucose and get themselves fed. But the extra needs to be put away. The extra is stored in your liver or in your muscles, okay? If there's more than that, the muscles are full, the liver is full, all the storage facilities are closed, then insulin tells the body to convert the excess to fat. Okay, here's where we're getting into the weight part, right? If you eat and your body is in storage mode from insulin, that is where you can control how much storage you're doing. If you eat the 6 meals a day plan, then every time you eat, your insulin spikes. Even if you're eating all fat, even if you're eating high protein, all that, that's all fine. You're still spiking your insulin. Insulin spikes based on what you eat in higher amounts or lower amounts. So if you eat more fat, you have a lower insulin rise. If you eat more protein, a little bit more. If you eat carbohydrates, even higher levels of insulin, okay? But it also has to do with how frequently you eat. So if you eat every couple of hours, that insulin is spiking. So that means your body stays in storage mode every time you eat. So if you eat at 8 in the morning and then at 10:30 and then at 12:30, and so it takes some time for the insulin to surge, to put away the food, store it in your liver or wherever it's going to go, and then come down, and then right away you're eating again. You're going to stay in storage mode. So what's the problem? If you stay in storage mode, you can't be in burning mode or ketosis, trying to break down fat. This is where people get into the conversation about intermittent fasting. Because if you don't put something in, you don't spike insulin. You don't store, and your body goes, oh, well, we need some fuel. We'll pull it from storage. And that's where you get into weight loss. So that's the key about insulin. The more times you eat, the more frequently you eat, the more times you spike your insulin, the more time you spend in storage. If you're trying to lose weight, you don't want to stay in storage mode. I'm not telling you to stop eating altogether, but if you could space time between your meals, and don't forget the original discussion, okay? You got to have some familiarity and some comfort with hunger. You got to know when to stop eating. You can't just fast for 16 hours and then eat over what you really need, because some of that is going to get stored, and that defeats the purpose. So just remember, if you can go some hours between, and once you stop eating at night, you can push that window out in the morning to your first meal. The longer you stay from spiking your insulin, the more likely you stay in fat burning mode. Okay? So I hope this helps, talking about insulin and what it's for, and keeping the concept of storage and fat burning as concepts that you can use to help trigger your fat loss. We're going to catch up next week with another hormone to talk about how that impacts your weight loss. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe so you don't miss anything. And if you like this video, if it helped you, give me a thumbs up. And let me know in the comments if you have something that you want to talk about, or questions you have, or anything that we can talk together about and help you along your journey. Thanks for being here. I'll see you next week. Bye.